Those waves are scary. Night swimming, guys. It's no joke. All right. Let's close her up. Ugh. Get inside my little house. Ooh, I'm cold. And let's go to sleep, even though I'm freezing. Hopefully I won't freeze to death. I am lovely. One of these days I'm gonna wake up and my beach is just gonna be full of them. And I'm gonna be like, well, shit. Oh, I totally have, I have stuff. Okay. I killed some lizards yesterday, so we're good. We'll eat this. Hopefully it will nourish me. I did a little bit. Alright, let's throw these up. And have some snack. There we go. Alright, now we gotta figure out this bridge business. That is the next priority. I don't know, should it be I don't know if it should be a dock or if platforms work. Custom floors? I think this might have been what he used. Because it seemed to be really low. Okay, I'm gonna cancel. I gotta build from the other side. I don't want to leave this here because it's not gonna line up properly. Food time, be right back. Alright. I should probably go up and start cutting more trees down. Oh well, we'll build what we can first. We'll see what we can do. Alright. Build. I wonder how hard it is to build a dock. So where's the dock? Because a dock seems to make more sense. No. I ate the last of them, so no. I don't. Seriously, why does it keep turning sideways? Oh, I guess because I can build it like this. Can we make it come all the way across? Actually, this isn't gonna work. Yeah. Actually, let's... Oh, maybe it will. That's gonna take so much logs. Oh, God. Hello! Alright. Here's hoping this game works. Let's see. Is it gonna show up? Of course not. That would be too easy. Add. Game capture. 80 days. I also have no idea where it's good to put my camera, so. Capture. 80 days. Actually, cancel. Let's remove. Let's try properties. Capture. Yes, no, maybe? Come up! There we go! Success! I don't know if there's sound. I've heard nothing. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman, London, 1872. It would seem he is a gambling man. Okay. This music is really hype. We're going around the world. Hey, it's the Great Lakes. I live right there. This is where we're starting. London. Oh, holy crap, this is loud. What kind of settings do we have? Settings, full screen, sure. Resolution, VSync every V blank? What? Volume, text speed. Alright. Thanks for showing you where you lived. Gonna drive. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. Oh, wait, no. Okay, let's go back. Posters and more? Oh, that opened a web page. Alright. Quit. No. Camera, take screenshot. Oh, okay. Click to begin. We're in London. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club and in a newfangled steam carriage beside. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. Passepartout, he said. We are going around the world. Oh, around the world, monsieur. Very good, monsieur. Oh, wait. I had choices there. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed his wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour. But I have not prepared, I said wretchedly, trying to organize a list of necessary items in my mind. Then do it now. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There's not a moment to waste. You, Passepartout, now have funds. Your character is now steadfast. Hey, Rocket Science! I missed you this afternoon. I didn't get to do any multiplayer games. To Paris! Quickly, Passepartout, collect our things, and we will be off. Alright. Pack. There was just a moment to seize anything that I thought might be useful for a long trip. He wanted an altimeter. What? No, pack. Evening jacket. Do I want a shipping tire? Oh, God. Inscribed with marks describing a recording of a symphony, valuable in Vienna, Paris, and Copenhagen. Okay. A deck of 52 playing cards, suitable for a whist drive or two, of interest to humorous, stalwart officials and soldier types. A slender volume listing all shipping routes in Europe. Routes for ships in Europe will be visible on the globe. Alright. Let's get it here. New routes discovered. Take the cards. You're up late. Maybe we can play some multiplayer tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. Probably not tomorrow because I have rating, but maybe like Tuesday? Oh man, look at all these routes. Alright. Our completed Englishman's wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeyings. Arrives tomorrow. Embark. Amphitrite Express to Paris, departing now. The guard's van has space for one suitcase, which will suffice travel. This looks like a bearable option. Go! How long will it take us to get there? Oh man, do we have to wait this whole time? Good god, this is gonna take forever. Please, please skip through this. The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing's Cross Station. We have no tickets, I exclaimed. We raced along the course and threw ourselves aboard. Yeah, sounds like a better idea. As the second whistle shrieked its warning, we barely had time to take our seats before a guard rapped smartly on the compartment. Tickets please. Alas, monsieur, we are in a great hurry. I pretended to have lost them. Alas, monsieur, we are in a great hurry, I explained, giving him a beseeching look. We did not have time to buy tickets. You may purchase them from me, the guard was saying, though it's more expensive, I'm afraid. £85, please. I argued with him. Or rather, I began to, but Monsieur Fogg interrupted. Passepartout, you will pay the sum at once, he put in coldly, and remunerate this man for his patience. Man... I handed over £85 and smiled a thin smile from one working man to another. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. Your funds have gone down somewhat. The opener said your friend was a gambler. You should have taken the cards so you could win money in poker from people. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm in a rush, so I don't know what to do. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Mr. Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags. I demanded to know the purpose of our journey. We passed the day in silence. I demanded to know the purpose of our journey. You see, Passepartout, he said, I have made a wager that we can circumnavigate the globe in no more than 80 days. How large? How large a wager? I asked in trepidation. £20,000, my master replied coolly. £20,000, I repeated in a strangled tone. He turned back to his paper, perhaps overtaxed by the grueling duration of our conversation. A guard rapped on the door. A few miles before Dover. We're about to submerge, he warned. Takes some people a bit funny, so watch out. What do you mean submerge? I cried. This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express, he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. The submersible train. Talk of all the papers. Then this is the Mer train, I explained. He made a face. Bloody journalists and their silly names, he muttered. Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world's only bath-escape locomotive. I pressed my face to the window glass as the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Lovely. This is kind of fun, actually. Oh, we're already on day 2. Early in the morning. The Amphitrite plowed through the waters overnight and splashed onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as the dawn broke. Do you have a route in mind, monsieur? I began to consider what we might require. Do you have a route in mind? I asked as the water of the channel dried from compartment windows. I am as yet undecided, my master admitted. The new canal has sped up the shipping routes from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railroad way across Russia. I want to go through Russia. Surely not Bombay, I exclaimed. We shall certainly wilt in the scorching heat. Then we will do well to buy hats and linen trousers, he replied. There are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian Sea. But which is the fastest? I believe, he said, that is what we shall put to the test. Parbleu, I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris, Gare du Nord, just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart, I was home, but not to stay. New routes discovered. Oh man. I'm guessing this is before 747s existed. Yes. Some of our possessions could earn us well here. We're in Paris at noon. Market. No. I don't want to get anything. Oops. Bank. Explore. We must visit the bank, Monsieur Flack declared. You have additional funds? A robbery, monsieur. I am a gentleman. They would extend me credit if required, he replied. But do you suppose I put my entire fortune into a carpetbag under your supervision? I did not answer. I regarded the bank as we entered. It was a place of stone and shimmering marble floors with beautiful windows, fountains, and plants. You wish to withdraw funds, we were told. I warn you, it may take some time. It will take too long, I informed the manager. We swept out of the bank. Thankfully, our situation is not desperate, my master declared. Onward! What a waste of time. Oh. 16 players. Oh. Zurich. How do I go somewhere? Hotel? We'll pass the night here. I have no idea what I'm doing. We took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied, the short answer indicated. I think that one-day journeys might often be more flexible in their timings and could allow for more connections. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. The clock is ticking, Passepartout. We must decide our next steps quickly. I want to go somewhere. Why? Why do I not have the option to go somewhere? Cancel. How do we go here? No, I don't want any of this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Amy. I guess we'll explore, because I don't know what else to do. New roads discovered. Oh, okay. Fuck. We have a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and should you learn of anything of note, be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk of the street was of one thing only, an enormous, elegant, oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of the Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, art, museum parks, and milling crowds of the World Fair of 1872. My city still wore the scars of last year's siege, as did I. Paris and France had surrendered to the Prussian army after 4.5 months of grim, blood-soaked resistance in the Franco-Prussian War. I put away my memories of those grim days, of rat meat stews and artillery bombardments, and gazed instead at the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. An artificer was replacing an arc light which had burned out. She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel which was wound around with a series of armature coils. What is that device, artificer? I asked politely, my eyes trained to the copper lily pin which proclaimed her professor. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. These Graham machines are finicky beasts. Graham machines? I inquired. Well, it's a... Oh, never mind. She waved my question away. It's a steam engine, all right. Only it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I hate explaining this stuff to laymen. I retreated hastily, not at all in terror of her irate tone, merely aware that there were delights and wonders aplenty, well away from annoyed Yorkshire-bred artificers. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting, illuminated pavilions of the exposition. But this was all too much for me, so hurrying quickly away, I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef à l'anglaise. Did you enjoy the exposition, my master inquired diffidently. And I nodded. Nothing could... We are unspeakably lucky to live in such an age of adventure, I declared. It will certainly make it easier to win my wager, Mr. Fogg replied mildly. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders and automatons with beautifully enameled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and stranger people I would soon encounter on my journey around the world. What is this game? 80 days. Depart! Oh, thank God. Yes. Do we have options? No? Okay. Yes, no, yes. Private car to Amsterdam. The car's roof has space for one suitcase, which will suffice. The open road will be a bothersome road. Go! Ari's narration is greater than Morgan Freeman's narration. Glad you enjoyed. We found a member of the Coachmakers Guild to carry us to Amsterdam. She loaded the case onto the back and stoked the boiler and took off at high speeds along the coastal road, swerving around each corner with considerable skill and I think a touch of showmanship. I clung on tight. It would be a terrific ride. Your character is now presentable. Okay. Wait. Paris World Fair, roaring success. Once or twice the metal-rimmed wheels lifted the chassis clear from the road on one side, only to bump down after a chuff and puff more of the engine. We were jolted around like so much poultry. We were jolted around like so much poultry as the wind whipped through our hair. A fabulous way to travel. The Polish inventor Bozek, who had first attached a perfectly decent locomotive engine underneath a flimsy wooden crate, was clearly a genius. Oh, my good friends, if I were not destined to be a valet until the days I have gray hair in my ears, I would have become a car driver, and gad the rich and famous around the mountains of south France every day between the hours of 2 and 6. Does such a role exist? Perhaps I will invent it if not. Toot toot. I watched the driver as we rode, hoping to learn her secret should I get the opportunity to drive for myself. Your character is now courageous. You seem quite a handy man to have around, Passepartout. Uh-oh. Plan. Arrive Sunday. God. Sure. No. Yeah, let's go there. Okay. How do I go back? Nope. We'll pass the night here. Though the people of Amsterdam move about its canal-side streets with a sense of optimism and good cheer, I felt no pressing need to linger. Once, Amsterdam was a great center of trade and culture, but now it strikes me as a provincial sort of place. There was, of course, the route that followed the canal south, that short northerly canal that allowed access to the North Sea and beyond, towards Scandinavia. So many choices. All that remained was to choose how best to depart. I want to depart. Departs tomorrow at noon. The Englishman's wardrobe should yield results. Most generous. No change. No charge. At 12 noon. What? Arrives tomorrow. Excellent. Embark. The luggage has space for 3 suitcases. More than enough. Mild sea. This looks like a bothersome route. Go. It would have been better if Ari had purple hair and cat ears. Get out of here, Fuzzy. Our route north was to be by hydrofoil, a modern contraption invented, or so I had heard, by a mad Italian contessa by the name of Orsini. I confess I boarded with some trepidation. The idea of the open sea in this flimsy bucket was quite terrifying. Monsieur Fogg appeared to not have noticed we would be risking life and limb. He boarded the infernal machine and seated himself with some care as to the creasing of his trousers. Care to join us, Passepartout? I asked. Indeed, monsieur. I clambered in and settled myself, or tried to. The hydrofoil bucked and rolled underneath me most alarmingly. Monsieur Fogg waved to the pilot to start the engine. The ship roared into life, and then rose up 2 feet in the air above the surface of the waves. That seems terrifying. Wait. What do we got? Artificer expedition rumored for the North Pole. Okay. Despite my concerns, the ride turned out to be surprisingly enjoyable. Rather like the carousel on a fairground. We bumped and ricocheted along across the waves. I asked the pilot for his opinion on the craft, and he patted her delicately. I sold all my horses to buy it. I would not buy them back. High praise indeed. Remarkably, we were to spend the night on the very edge of the North Sea. The engine was switched off and a domed canopy extended from the sides of the ship and closed overhead. In the last moments before it sealed, I was fearful of the cold. In the last moments before it sealed, I saw a flicker of color in the sky. Ooh, yay. British spelling. The aurora? I do not know. We sat in closed quarters and talked in hushed tones in this strange little bubble, floating on the froth of the world. The next day was much shorter, and we cruised into the harbor at Christiania. You find the place empty, our pilot remarked. I warn you. Empty? We disembarked the shore, and a man turned about and was lost from sight. An empty city, after all, offers no passengers. Are we screwed? Did I make a... We will have to explore Christiania to find a journey onward. Okay. The streets of Christiania were completely deserted. We did not see anyone anywhere. I was quite puzzled and sought someone to ask, but there was no one about. Why would that be better? Because Fuzzy's just weird. This is an eerie place, Mr. Fogg remarked, in an uncharacteristic display of emotion. Certainly the silent streets had a certain menace to them. Perhaps we should be moving on. Perhaps we should be moving on. Perhaps so, he agreed. Let us hope we can find someone to take us on to our next destination, however. Plan. I want to go to Stockholm. Departs. The next departure leaves for tomorrow. To travel this way, we'll have to sleep at night. Copenhagen. Leaves tomorrow. Where is this going? No, let's do this one. Hotel. We'll pass the night here. The city was still empty. We found a hotel in the end, but it was deserted and cold, and there was no dining to be had. Monsieur Fogg seemed quite unruffled. We will leave money on the counter, he declared, and perhaps a note that their service could be improved. Nights are cold here. It transpires we were most uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Passepartout, can you think of something? I feel somewhat below par. Let's go to Stockholm. Embark. The luggage rack has space for 3 suitcases. Travel, this seems a bearable option. What do the hearts mean? I assume... Oh god, they're really low. The Louise of Sweden was a beautifully presented airship, and she flew like a dream. I assume if they hit 0, bad things will happen. It has to do with how how pleasurable my mode of transportation is. I feel like for being 6 days in, we have not made a whole lot of progress. Oh, there's people traveling by boat. Have we arrived? Oh god. Did we arrive yet? Why are we stuck? Whoops. What is... The route was uneventful and there was little to mark the day. I spent my time watching the scenery go by and relaxing. Even a valet must take time off. We arrived into Stockholm before dark. Louise of Sweden. Baltic Ferry departs tomorrow and arrives tomorrow. Departs tomorrow at 10. I want to go there. We'll pass the night here. We found our hotel to be very well appointed, and we were glad of it, because the streets outside became fearfully cold as night fell. There's something beautiful to this bleak city. From the way he turned his head, it was clear that Mr. Fogg found my remark distasteful, but he made no particular rejoinder. Depart. Oh. No. Is this a more pleasant route? No. This is my better option. Okay. Embark. Roll this music. We left Stockholm promptly and without fuss. Converse. Begin conversation. Greetings, monsieur. Yes. I need to know about Warsaw. Do you realize that Nimitz can be reached from Warsaw above the Belabras Express? I don't know, but listen to the artificer skill. That's no blah blah blah. Ah. I feel like perhaps going across might have been better. The ferry left Stockholm on its mighty buildings behind and took off into the quiet waters. I passed the time on deck, talking to the other passengers, trying to gather information for our next leg, learning from a nervous Turkish madame that Izmiri merchants were extremely well connected. But by nightfall we reached the coastline at Gdansk and transferred into a little carriage that trundled us the last few miles into Warsaw. I'm gonna run out of parts. The evening jackets could earn us well here. Alright, when? Arrives Thursday? Good grief. I am quite sure this departure could be altered. Yeah. Thoroughly ungentlemanly behavior. The ticket will require further 3... Ugh. This is gonna go badly. It would seem we cannot travel this way today. Okay. Hotel. We'll pass the night here. We walked the streets of Warsaw, feeling the air of a different continent all around. In less than 2 generations, the Tsar has made the little outposts all their own. But there were signs of dissident on every... they've made it much nicer, too. There are building works on every road, with a great digging machine sitting idle during the day and coming to life in the evening, as they carve out sewage and water systems that will allow the city to grow to enormous size. A touch of empire can do wonders, I remarked to Monsieur Fogg, but his eyebrows scolded me. No good will come of this, he replied. Only malignant growth and rust expand at such a rate. He shook his head sadly. When will people realize that only the English are fit to run an empire? Wow. Wow. I did not argue. What would have been the use? A gentleman lives in a gentler world. Your relationship with Fogg has improved slightly. I hope you're not spending too much, Passepartout. That money has to last all the way around. Yeah, I know. Embark. Go. I have a feeling I'm not gonna make it this time. We clambered aboard the train. Monsieur Fogg had settled into a far corner like a dusty old uncle, and I went to sit next to him, ready to attend to his wishes. He had none, of course, but to be left alone with his thoughts, whatever they were. So we rode in silence. Greetings, mademoiselle. Good evening. Minsk? I don't know. I will understand the Trans-Siberian Express runs from Moscow across Russia. Oh, really, monsieur? Is there a route from Vladivostok to Hong Kong? That seems quite impossible to me. No idea, but I hear there's a power plant there. Huh. Odessa? I've been watching, Heroes Reborn, so Odessa, Texas is where a lot of stuff takes place. I don't suspect that that's Odessa, Texas, though. We arrived at Minsk after nightfall and quickly disembarked, rather than spending the night on this train. There seem to be no departures today. We should explore a little. Oh, dear God. Okay. Arrive Sunday. Negotiate. Thoroughly ungentlemanly behavior. No. Surely there's another way. No. Looks like we're sleeping with the rats. The hotel was too expensive, but we had no option but to curl up in a shady spot under a tree like wild dogs and try our luck outside. Halfway through the night, we were accosted by a miserable and hungry individual. I ushered them away. Weeping and shivering, they crept away. Relations with Fogg have deteriorated slightly. Your character is now suave. Explore. Yeah, we need a better option. A very cold newspaper man offered me a sip of Turkish coffee at a tram stop in Minsk. My grandfather was French, he said blandly. Then we are compatriots. I toasted him with my ceramic tumbler. I do not think so. He spat on the ground vehemently. I did not know him. He was one of Napoleon's soldiers. Minsk was occupied by the Grand Armée during the invasion. He did not speak in a particular accusive tone, but any words I tried to say in reply coagulated at the back of my throat. Ah, I managed to choke out. An unfortunate business. Yes, war is an unfortunate business, and yet I am here. So there is that. He gestured with his cup. You are we will cross Russia. Who knows where we're going next? I replied with a shrug. He nodded. I see. Well, he glanced down at his coffee cup. If I were traveling, I know where I would choose to go next. And where is that? Tehran, he replied to my surprise. A beautiful place, I'm sure. He laughed bitterly and tapped the newspaper under his arm. When I was younger, I knew a woman called Lena Palkala, a Finnish girl. She became a dancer. Now she passes herself off as Slavic and has just been signed up to dance exclusively in Tehran. I'm sure I will never see her again, but if I could, I would try. Then go. I can advise you on routes. I would never find her. Lena Palkala is gone. Her name is now Marina Poltavka? Our tram wheezed into the shop and the conductor opened its doors. The newspaper man boarded. Enjoy your coffee, he added, without looking in my direction. I boarded with him and cracked a rare smile. Perhaps I had lengthened his stay after all. Market. Of interest to luxurious, posh, and prim types. For the railway man set. Safety harness. Ugh. Bank. We need to go to the bank. Monsieur Fogg steps shut his ledger. Let's see if this bank can offer us a good return for our time. I regarded the bank as we entered. It was a small affair, but efficiently looked after, and we were quickly seen to. You want to make a withdrawal? The manager asked. You may have to wait a day or two. Oh, man. Well, we require 700 pounds, I said. The manager nodded. I will have to communicate with London first, of course. I should have a reply tomorrow. It seems, Monsieur Fogg remarked as we left, we have some time to dispose of. We'll pass the night here. With what remained of the day, I went out to explore a little. And found a cheerful Russian madame who had mislaid a locket, which I spotted, and who then told me that you could obtain good false teeth in Odessa, extremely valuable in Omsk. I paid £1 for her. I assured her we were unlikely to head this way, at which my friend nodded. I don't blame you. Our funds will be ready to collect when the bank opens. Tacking the clock will tip time forward. We returned to the bank at opening times to collect our funds, and then we were ready to proceed once more. Plan. Can we leave yet? Departs tomorrow. Arrives Sunday. Arrives Sunday. Departs in 2 days. I feel like we should just go to Moscow. Alright. Spend the night here. As night fell, I helped the kitchen staff to clean, earning 70 pounds in fees and tips, as well as learning from her that you could pick up stopwatches in Novorossiysk you can sell for profit in Moscow. Most intriguing. Your funds have gone up somewhat. Depart. Embark. The train pulled out from Mink Station well after nightfall. Monsieur Fogg had taken to tapping his watch every time we began a new journey, as though he was recording the time of departure through some fantastical spring-operated signal. Perhaps he was sending a message to whomever was back in London, who persuaded him on this journey of ours. That was not what it said. The words that came out of my mouth. There was little time to do anything before total darkness enveloped the train. Uh-oh. Man, I don't know what's gonna happen when we hit 0. Morning came and we were still crossing the Russian countryside, the train moving on its slow, steady way. I spent the time talking to other passengers, hoping to find options for our next leg. I met a charming Muscovite artist and had a pleasant if unproductive conversation. Well, whiled the hours away. Finally, we pulled into the stone edifice that was Moscow Station and disembarked. The pocket altimeter should be quite valuable here. My option thus far... Oh, man. I can't afford that. Departs tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're gonna get screwed. Moscow was not a comfortable city for a Frenchman. A local composer had just written a piece People were calling the 1812 Overture, commemorating the Russian victory over Napoleon's invading Grand Armée in that fateful year. Patriotic passions were at a fever pitch, so I stayed very sensibly indoors. Alas, my friends, my solitude was quickly interrupted by an officious rap on the door. Two men in clothes so plain that they were most certainly police officers invited themselves in. The new Tsar was a paranoid sort, so it was said, but who could blame him for having personally witnessed his father's assassination as a young man? My luck, it seemed, had deserted me, so I resolved to escape out the back door. I have always been quick in a pinch, and I was on the metal fire escape at the back of the building before the police had finished picking our lock. I rather abandoned Monsieur Fogg to the policeman's mercies. When I returned an hour later, he seemed ashen-faced and particularly still, as if he had endured some terrible ordeal. Had they tormented him for information, or simply rifled messily through our belongings? Relationships with Fogg has grown slightly worse. Your character is now well-heeled. What does well-heeled mean? Depart. I can't make it that whole way. I'm gonna run out of money. Market. Oops. Really? That didn't make us very much money. Depart. Well, let's go. Let's go. We can make it as far as here. Go! Oh god. No. I believe the bell in the stuccoed and whitewashed Moscow train station gave its third and final clang. The platform erupted into a frenzy. We boarded calmly and found ourselves in a small cabin with heated water and even a shaving mirror. Our cash reserves seem to be running low, Passepartout. Yes, they do. Greetings, Mr. Degustin. Let us share a glass of wine together, monsieur. Cattenberg to... You mentioned trains. I've been told Beijing can be reached from Hong Kong aboard the Beijing Express, but the fare is extortionate. No idea, but the bank in Usuriac has gone bankrupt. Here's something I do know. I cannot think why anyone would go to Pangsao Place. I learned about a route that is probably completely useless to me. We were away! I was affixed to the window. I familiarized myself with the train's layout. The last two carriages were heavily guarded prison cars, then fourth class, then third, and so on, with amenities scattered between passenger cars. Everything was dusty and cold and made my heart sink. My bed that night swayed along with the motion of the train. We had several more days of this journey through the middle of nowhere at all. Your character's now suave. I'm totally gonna be screwed. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. I have no money, and our fellow passengers were a mix of convicts, political radicals, prospectors, businessmen, and military officers. In the midst of this was a young lady, Rosa, wearing a bored expression as she was harangued by her formidable mama. I followed her I made her acquaintance only too easily. She was desperate for a sympathetic ear, and told me a great secret. She had fallen in love with a peasant boy in fourth class called Jack, by which I understood that they have shared a glance of extreme passion in the baggage car. To be so young again. I resolved to keep an eye on their burgeoning locomotive romance. We crossed the Volga in the early afternoon, crawling slowly over a bridge perched on high stone pillars. It was a muddy, sluggish river, clogged with floating islands of rafts and large steamers bound for the Caspian Sea. I could just hear the lithing, rhythmic oar-beating songs of the Volga boatmen over the whistle of the steamboats. Wait, aren't we in the middle of land? How are there steamboats and water? I am weak, but if I must be ill, why must I also suffer you as my valet? Oh, the train crawled into the Urals and we stopped in the town of Ekaterinburg. I bid farewell to young Rosa. She was slipping away to see her Jack once more. I wish you happiness, I told her. I have never been so happy, she replied enthusiastically. I shook my head and left her. She waved to me from the window as the train blew its whistle and faded from sight. Oh, man. There seems to be no departures today. We need a fucking bank. Monsieur Fogg looks quite resolved. We must once again make a demand upon the bank, I fear, he declared. I regarded the manager of the bank as we entered, a well-dressed, calm gentleman who greeted us with eager enthusiasm. You would like to take out funds, we were told. It may take a few days. We require £1,500, I declared. The manager made note. I will need to talk to the London branch to confirm, you understand. The funds will be ready in 2 working days. My master shook hands on it and we left the bank. Return to the bank Thursday to collect your funds. Explore! I discovered a new route because I explored. Ekaterinburg was a grand city of the north, a hive of industrial activity. Freight trains and wagons rolled in and out on all hours, carrying all manners of steam this and electro loop that, heading east and west along Russia's great back. However, given the city's size, I could not believe the Trans-Siberian was the only connection, so I determined to find anything else to offer my master as an alternative. I began my search at a local coffee house, thinking I would find travelers there. The locals treated me like a curious thing found on the bottom of a shoe, and I learned essentially nothing. Next I tried a nearby waterfront, but it turned out that despite a number of small lakes, there was little in the way of ferry transport. By now it was growing late, so I returned to Monsieur Fogg. My master had passed the hours sipping a single cup of tea, which, it was clear from the look on his face, he had not enjoyed. Alright, we'll pass the night here. Apparently it doesn't cost very... Oh, it did cost money. Before retiring, I spent a few hours polishing shoes in the lobby, earning £50. Let's go to the market. Pressure gauge, fur-lined boots. I mean, we got nothing, so we got no money. We'll pass the night here. It's Thursday. We took a room and settled in, and I decided to help the kitchen staff clean. Your funds have gone up somewhat. We need the bank. Bank. We collected our funds from the bank, and the manager wished us well. Depart. Can we afford to get here? Anyways, well, arrive Sunday. Parts tomorrow at noon. Oh wait, what are my options this way? Arrive Saturday. Parts tomorrow at 8 a.m. That's much cheaper though. How much is this gonna cost? Yeah, no. We're gonna go that way. Because we're poor. We'll pass the night here. With the last light of the evening, my serious concerns about Mr. Fogg made me seek out a doctor. She touched my master's forehead. A mild fever, I would say. 4 days to recover to full strength. There was no alternative. It was too long. We could not afford to wait. The doctor sighed, did what she could and left. A female doctor. Passepartout! Perhaps you can think of something. I feel somewhat below par. No, we're departing. Uncomfortable conditions in cold weather. This won't bother some. Day 18. While the rest of the world puts increasing faith in airships, the Russians seem determined to use railways. Perhaps they know something about air safety we do not. I suppose it is more efficient for mass movements. Russia is a country massive in every way, not the least in the strength of its army. But of all the railways in the country, the one from Ekaterinburg to Astrakhan must be among the most impressive, tunneling through several hundred miles of mountains to reach its goal. It is an unflagging beast of a railway line, rattling tirelessly on through dark places. After looking out the window for an hour or more, I began to fancy I could see eyes and creatures moving in the dark. Perhaps the Russians were moving underground. Or perhaps I was growing tired and fanciful. I think I'm running out of steam on this game. It's a lot of talking. I don't know how exciting this is for you guys. What to do, what to do. Any of you got suggestions if I switch games of what I should play? Because I just don't know. But this game is not as great for streaming as I'd hoped it was. It's a lot of... There's not a lot to look at, unfortunately. Rock walls thundered past on either side. There seemed to be no end of darkness. How fast do you suppose we are traveling? I asked my master. He nodded and replied, fast enough. That was our conversation, just bleak and desolate as the tunnel through which we ran. The train erupted into sunlight sometime in the morning for the final run through the lowland towards Astrakhan on the edge of the Caspian Sea. I spent what little time remained playing cards with the train guard, from whom I won a hefty sum of 400 pounds, enough that I felt disinclined to stop when our station arrived. Your funds have gone up significantly. We will have to sleep here and explore in the morning. Alright. We'll pass the night here. The city of Astrakhan sits on the tiptoe of the Russian Bear, where the Volga River empties into the Caspian Sea. We found the people to be most... I went to investigate the river, wondering what transport across the water might be found, but took one step too far and sank down to my knees in thick black mud. I toppled over on my back, not from clumsiness, but reasoning that by spreading my body weight I would reduce the depth with which I might sink. And so I lay there, like a water boatman on the surface of a pond, covered in thick mud. I considered my options before acting. The ending of the game is when you get back to London. Oh, fuzzy. I was floating. If I did not move, I would not sink further. I could either attempt to escape or wait for the tidal shift of the river to come in and either drown me or lift me up. I chose to move, writhing like a snake backwards towards dry land. Escape! But it left my jacket ruined, blackened with more mud down my trouser and legs. I looked as though I had lain in the path of a newfangled tarmacadaming machine. I returned to Mr. Fogg looking half dead. His expression, I believe, flickered a moment, but he said not a word. And then, not even when Astrakhan was far behind us, relations with Fogg have grown slightly worse. Explore. Hey, we found a new route. I took a few hours to explore, investigating the various options for how we might continue our journey. Plan. Negotiate. Holy crap! Alright. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. We're gonna find something else to play. Let's see. This is not what I want. Where's my library? I wish Dreamfall Chapters was working, but it keeps crashing. Let's play This War of Mine. Alright. Play tools? What are the tools? Oh, create new mod. Yeah, no thanks. And now I gotta update all my games. Or yeah. This War of Mine. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Of Mine. There we go. Update. This War of Mine. And that's what I get for streaming. This War of Mine. Alright. Let me properties. Is this gonna get picked up? Yes, no, maybe? No? Oh, there we go. Excellent. In modern war, you will die like a dog for no good reason. Yup. Fuck the war. Oh. Do I need my controller for this? Oh, controller, why are you stuck? Alright. Settings, music volume, resolution, full screen. No. Pencil effect. English, temperature scale, Celsius. Hey. I can't get up to the survive. I was there before. Press and hold for inventory. That should be fun. How come I can't get up? Survive. There we go. Whatevs. Whatever. Start with the mess. Alright. Loading. Let me know if stuff gets covered up, because I don't always pay attention to that. Day 1. This is gonna be depressing. How long has this siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day is a struggle for survival. The city is crawling with snipers, shelling an ordinary business almost every night. Phones don't work, there's a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends, so when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pal while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Porogan's star football player, and now he's just another homeless victim of war. So they teamed up, hoping for the best. This is already too scary. Pal was a fast runner, slightly wounded. Bruno's a good cook, slightly sick. Marco is a skilled scavenger. Alright. I feel ill. I hope it's nothing serious. Are things, various components needed to make it, just about everything, nails, duct tape, plastic containers, scrap, things like that. Take. Let's see if there's anything useful left here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm grabbing. I think I can't. Some loose planks, I could easily remove them. Well, I don't know how easy that is, but you know, whatever. water. Need to prepare a good meal or make alcohol, wood, and essential component for all kinds of stuff. Plus we can chop it to fuel stoves and heaters. Alright. At least it's warm. There's a robo blocking the way. It'll take a while to pick through it. Oh, can we leave him picking through it and go see somebody else? Too bad it isn't cooked. Gross. Let's pick him through it. Alright. What should I take? Bed, you have 0. One bed will be made. How long? Chair. Be great to listen. Rainwater collector, that's probably a good idea. Metal workshop, moonshine still. Crude stove. Consumables. We need water first and foremost. We don't have the stuff for this. We can't make any of this crap. Alright. I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright. Are you done digging through this yet? No. I hope we managed to keep stuff out. Yay! Oh, and I have to break through a door. Sigh. Our things. Let's grab stuff. Ooh, gems. Wait. Whoa, what is that? Jewelry. A piece of jewelry valued. Bartering item. Alright. The door is locked, but I have something that can take care of that. It's locked, but my tools should do the trick. How do... How do I use tools? No. I can't do anything. Oh, if only I had the tools. My tools should do the trick. I need something to open this lock. The door is locked, but I have something that can take care of that. I could force the lock if only I had the tools. It's locked. Alright. I don't know if I'm feeling this game right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like if I'm gonna play, because this feels more survival-y than I was expecting. If I'm gonna play survival, might as well be the forest. I already know what I'm doing in that game. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know. I don't think I'm just not feeling this today. Was there a ladder? Can I go down here? Yes. It hurts, but I'll manage. Look, spent all that time digging through there for nothing. Oh, there's a ladder. Alright. Guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm not feeling this. I don't really feel like playing anything at the moment, so I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. No, I wanna exit. How do I exit? What am I doing? I just wanna get out of here. I don't know what I did. B. Bruno is back. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want it to be day 2. I want to exit. I want to stop playing. Why does this game? Why can't I quit? Oh, there we go. Leave. Yes. Alright. Now, how the heck do I get out of this? There we go. Alright, sorry about tonight. I guess, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like not into playing anything or if I just don't have any games that I want to play, but I don't know. I feel like I need to try games out more before I play them on stream, but I don't like to. I like the whole it being new and fresh before like when I start streaming it. But then if they don't work out, then it's kind of shitty. All right, I am gonna call it a night. Sorry guys. I will be back tomorrow. We will be raiding. So I'll be on at 7. I'll probably play Final Fantasy 14, figure out something to do beforehand. So yeah, that'll be a thing. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more into this tomorrow. But sorry guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.